place too. Excellent work. Okay, we're live on YouTube. All right, we're going to be streaming now to Facebook. Facebook. Yep. It's not human. Am I good? Am I live? Am I good? Am I live? We're we're streaming. We're good. We're good. Hit me. 3, 2, 1 me. We're good. We're good. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very important lesson today, the Simple, Effective, Easy Strategy One and Done version 4.0. We also have the back-tested results using the Newsbeat live material. We're going to go through all that and more. I am Mark Melnick. This is the Newsbeat Show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Newsbeat Show. We're going to show you an unveil. It's usually private member education here, but figured we'd share it with the community with you guys to just bring you guys that extra value. And I wrote important for it because it is mandatory that you have to watch this because it's might be one of the most consistent strategies that could be often executed on Wall Street. I know there's certain strategies from some firms where they'll come to you and like, yeah, it works 100% of the time, and you might say like, hmm. And then they'll be like, okay, well, how many trades did you do in the last, 2 years? And they'll be like three, and they all worked. And I'll be like, hey, that's very good. But this is a strategy that comes out much more often. And of course, it's the simple, effective, easy strategy, the one and done. We're updating it to version 4.0. We're going to share with you that, our precise daily stock levels, our game planning for Forex, as well as so much more. But first, before we go on, you agree by watching this video that you hold me, Mark Melnick, and T3 Live not responsible for anything that you might hear, see, think, read, dream, touch, feel, smell, any of your five senses, six senses if you're an alien. You agree to hold me harmless for everything. Well, since you agreed to that for me, it would only be fair if I went ahead and I unveiled the one and done version 4.0. And it's kind of an interesting thing. And the version 4.0 has a very key addition here, basically saying if the bottom of the first 1 minute bar breaks down, do not take this trade. But I'm gonna take you through the steps. First, I reworded a lot of things here, and I had a chance, thankfully, to just run a quick back test for the since January 1st of this year. There actually wasn't trading on January 1st, but that's where we started the back test looking forward. And you choose the Newsbeat upgrade or downgrade name with the highest conviction. That is your first step because I really wanted to lock it down. I know I used to say, you could choose any name that, you deem fit, but I really wanted you to choose the actual Newsbeat name that we choose in the morning and show you how your results could have been if you did follow those names. It's only fair. We give you our highest conviction name every single morning. You know exactly what it is. There are definitely no mistakes. Let's get some AC on in here. See like the back, you see like how it opens up there behind me. See like how the flap opens. It's like noise proof. It makes like no noise and it like cools down my entire room. Damn thing cost me 5 grand. So I could broadcast and stay cool at the same time. With that being said, so basically what we do is we give you Newsbeat upgrade and downgrade names. So right over here, you could see step number 2, your name must gap up at the open for an upgrade or gap down. So if we say XYZ upgrade with our highest conviction number next to it, you're looking for a gap up in XYZ. If we say XYZ downgrade, it must gap down. So basically, we are taking care of these 3 steps for you in the Newsbeat room. So just so we're clear, so you get the name tweeted to you, you get it mentioned in the room. Your name has to gap up on the open for an upgrade, has to gap down on the open for a downgrade. So this is the first step. The first 1 minute candle, we're using an example of an upgraded name. So step 3 isn't really a step, it's just pointing out that we're using an upgraded name. And it goes vice versa for a downgraded name. So the first 1 minute bar must close green using an open versus close as a candlestick parameter. Now this is a very important one because what determines the color of your candlesticks? Most people like to use green and red. I could really care less what you want to use for an up or down candlestick, but if you right click, I know this is on TC2000 and free stock charts. I'm sure you could find it on other charting softwares you use, but if you hit edit chart properties, you go to price style, the color right here is based on open versus close as opposed to net change or one color or net change or open versus close. You could see open versus close is how we determine the color of a bar. And it's very important. Now, I could sit here and I could speculate. Why does it work better with open versus close? Because when a stock opens, off a gap up and they don't sell it right away. They actually hold it up in the first minute where all the people who are long overnight, short overnight, opening new positions, going long on the open, shorting on the open, as long as it closes up higher as a green candlestick in our upgraded situation, it does show some relative strength. I believe that's personally why the numbers work so well. But you can't fight the statistics on this one, ladies and gentlemen. The next one that we're talking about is the bottom of the first 1 minute bar breaks down. Do not take this trade. So this was an example in Apple today. And T3 doesn't like the gurus, talking about their P&Ls, but this is a trade that, I guess I won't tell you my ending P&L of the day, but I'll tell you I lost a couple grand on the trade as opposed to what I make. I think it's fair to say what I lost. I'm not sharing with you my P&L. So I lost a couple grand on this trade, and here was the Apple one and done from this morning. It did run right into a resistance line here. I don't want to talk about that resistance line. Let's delete the drawings here for Apple just so you could see and focus in here. But you see the 1 minute bar close green. So why Apple? And I think this is a very important thing because when you usually watch the show, you usually watch, how successful everything we do is because that's what it basically is. But to be fair, I'll show you, when I show you 20 beautiful things, I will show you one ugly thing. We had three, 2.5 to 3 conviction names today. So I said, choose your poison. And this came out 8:48 this morning. I said Apple long, Nvidia long, and Bed Bath & Beyond long. And I said I'd go with a name that puts in a 1 minute green candle for a one and done. So I was watching three names this morning. I didn't really have a best conviction idea, but I did because I chose Apple in the end. So Apple technically, even though it wasn't by far, it was my best conviction idea. Had I did Bed Bath & Beyond, I could have caught a 20-cent pop from a $17 name. That would have been good. And had I traded Nvidia on the one and done, I would have hit a home run. I mean, I would have crushed it. I mean, Nvidia popped $1.70 in 1 minute after it went through and then went even higher. I mean, Nvidia was a beautiful thing. But let's talk about Apple, right? I want to talk about this because it's very important to go through this step 5. The bottom of the first 1 minute bar breaks down. Do not take this trade. So first, the 1 minute bar must be green. So I would have ignored NVIDIA, even though someone in the room took it and it worked. And the bottom of the first 1 minute bar breaks down. Don't take this trade. So what does that mean? Here's the first 1 minute bar of Apple today. You could see that it closed green. But you see the bottom of the candlestick here, how it broke down right over here? This is where we ignore the trade, and this is where I got tagged. I was looking for the break of 191.47. It shot up to 191.63, and then it flushed down to 190.55. And as soon as it broke 191, I took the loss as I was supposed to based on the methodology. And that little move over there, that little move right there, cost me a couple grand now. Blessed am I was able to come back and have a green day. But I do want to talk about that I back tested several of these results. Don't think that I'm using Apple today as my example for why the methodology changes. It's okay to lose money on a methodology. Usually losing money on a methodology shouldn't change the methodology. But what I did was I back tested all the three ideas that we had, the two ideas. When I say three, I don't mean number three, I mean 3 out of our 1 to 10 conviction rate. So as so notice that the stock didn't break up before breaking the bottom of this candle. Here's the first green candle. The high's 192.37, 192.32, 192.27, and then it flushed down here. The trade is already dead. So in the future, I would ignore this trade. However, keep in mind, if you executed the next trade, the high one strategy would have worked beautifully. If you executed, even off the 21, it would have worked beautifully. Taking Apple to the 5 minute chart right now. If you tried the high five, I mean, you could have been up 28 cents, but you could have also gotten stopped out, wouldn't have worked. So basically, to me, this sets the entire rhythm of the trade. If the one and done fails like this, where it starts breaking down, even if it works in the future, I think I generally want to ignore this trade. So I do want to point that out. So that is what step 5 looks like when I say, step 4 and 5 when I say I want the first 1 minute bar to be green, and if the bottom breaks down, don't take this trade. The first 1 minute bar is green, the bottom broke out, do not take the trade. Let's move on to the other steps. So buy through the top break of the first 1 minute candle that goes through utilizing a market order. I was very specific here because even though I cannot tell you to ever use a market or limit order, nor would I legally ever tell you to do anything, even if you hold me responsible, that's how I entered 100% of my trades on the one and done. On the one and done, 100% of them, I open up the position with a market order because I'm waiting for a breakout through the top of a candlestick that I do a market order. There are also a lot of traders who do the one and done very simply. They just say as soon as the 1 minute bar closes green, they put in a buy stop order right at that level or a penny above, usually at or a penny above, and they just buy it as it goes up and they say I'm up money always. As soon as the trade opens up, it's like immediately green. And that's a very, positive psychological thing, obviously, but I did want to talk to you through more of these things. So when I buy, I am actually buying, whoops, I am actually buying right here, utilizing a market order. So as soon as the first candle breaks up, I buy it. Very, very, very simple. So just taking you back to the apple in which the one and done work. I think this is a good example because here's the one and done of Apple that worked right here. You see the first candle was green. And then the next one shot through. This is when we crushed Apple, if you remember. We turned it into applesauce. The 1 minute bar headed green. It broke through right away. And you could have obviously hit a home run utilizing that methodology. That is the difference. So when you look at Apple today, you notice that it didn't look like that. It's okay that it digested here. These two bars were fine, but once this came through, there was no trade. There was no buying through the top of anything anymore. And that is one of the major changes in version 4. Not only that, if you do buy it, you set the stop at the bottom of the 1 minute candle you used to buy through. So I have to go back to the old Apple chart to show you again the example of where your stop would be because it's very important here. So if you bought an Apple on this, and when we buy it here, we're buying on this second candle, by the way, not this first candle right here. We're buying on this second candle right here to buy through, to push through the one and done. Your stop is at the bottom here. I mean, to follow the one and done, your stop is at day lows at that point. Now, granted, you're up a ton of money and it never went to day lows, but just so you know, as I'm explaining the step, if you did buy, your stop would be defined immediately to the point where you could algorithmically program it. Wink. Okay, going right on along, you set your stop at the bottom of the 1 minute candle you used to buy through. And then I even redefined step 8 over here. That's a totally different slide. Um, there we go. I even defined step 8 a little differently here. Make sure you don't pass on it. I mentioned that I enjoy selling on limit orders. I enjoy selling on limit orders. So after I use the market order, for example, to buy through here, I'm selling on a limit order. I'm not buying on market, selling on markets. Selling on market is an emergency situation to get out of the stock. Something must have went wrong for you to really want to sell on a market order. Really. I mean, yeah, a lot of you make money doing it. I mean, you couldn't lose money doing it in a situation like this, but as a general rule of thumb, I enjoy selling on limit orders after I buy on the market. So whether it's common stock, whether it's options, it's just how I like doing it. Then of course I say happy trading, make money, and I did run my back test. So I really don't like this number, but it's honest. As of January 1st, 2019, if I give you a Newsbeat name that has a 4 conviction out of 10 or higher, that's it. 4 out of 10 or higher, my 1 to 10 scale. And just so we're clear, Whoops, I'll pull it up right here for you just so we're clear. I literally define what a 1 out of 10 means, a 2 out of 10 means, a 4 out of 10 means. I give a generalized number of how much money I'm throwing at it. And if you're doing common shares, 300 shares to 10,000 shares, depending on if it's an Amazon or if it's a Bed Bath and Beyond, for example. So I do literally spell it out of what my conviction means. My conviction actually translates into something mathematical. It's not just a randomized set of numbers. So anything that you used with a 4 out of 10 or higher in the Newsbeat room right over here was 100% effective as of the beginning of this year. However, if you took a 3 out of 10 name, it's not 3 or lower. It's not 3 or more. It's just the literal number, the 3 out of 10. You were effective 92% of the time as of January 1st, 2019. Now, keep in mind, there are ways to be optimized for this strategy. Again, how many people love using the Mark Melnick's layout for the one and dones? Are people who are making a killing in this market, working for less than 5 minutes a day, doing nothing else than what I'm showing you. Hence why the title was right underneath here, sort of hidden here, want to trade for 5 minutes or less every day. And while the big brokerages and the prop shops might not like to hear that because you're not trading as many shares, what they don't realize is I'm giving them a customer for life that will never leave them. Do not underestimate longevity. Slow and steady wins the race. You want a nickel every day rather than a dollar tomorrow, and who knows what happens in the future. That is my mentality behind it. So again, going back 100, it was a small sample size. There weren't many 4 out of 10 conviction names. I think I gave 11 of them, and all 11 worked. The 3 out of 10 conviction names, there were a ton of them. Ton is a strong word. There were many of them, a lot more than the 4 out of 10. So when I say 4 out of 10, it's 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of 10. It's 4 out of 10 or higher. So basically, the only names that I did not utilize on the statistics were the 2 out of 10s or lower. Now, the funny thing is, when I actually look at the 2 out of 10 statistics or lower, I'm actually batting 80%. So it's not like it's so bad. However, I didn't want to share those numbers because there were just too many of them. And it was based off the 2 out of 10 ideas I take. And a lot of times, I literally say I have between a 1 and 2 conviction, and it becomes like very difficult for me to determine what I really had a 1 or a 2 on. Like literally, like I'll show you an example, like what I mean. Like right over here, like this was from March 21st. Like right over here, I say 1 to 2 out of the 1 out of 10 scale, but I'll always give what the top conviction idea is. So this was the day in which I showed you the apple. So I bought quick, I sold quick, whether you're up or down. And even though on a case like this, I could have held Apple all day, as you know, it was very clear what my highest conviction idea was. But over here, I say 1 to 2 out of the 1 out of 10 scale. And I didn't want to sit there and go back and figure out which name I liked as a 2 or whatnot. So I just really rated it on the number 2 out of 10 trades that I physically took. So that's about it. I mean, it's a very simple methodology. I mean, go back, watch this video, apply what you see here. What I would do if I were you and you want value out of this is besides that you could be a Newsbeat Live member and make, you know, really good money over time once you master the things we do here, which I feel are very simple, hence why I give the name Simple, Effective, Easy. We help traders. We talk about setting up your software effectively to do it. It's a very simple market order. You already set up your order in the pre-market. It's a simple press of the button. You're up money almost instantaneously, the vast majority of the time, and you sell out. And once you get used to it, you're going to have a really easy time trading, in my humble, honest opinion. Precise daily stock levels. Here are tomorrow's levels today. They don't always hit, but when they do, I tend to be able to make money by buying through support and shorting on resistance. Write them down, copy them, screenshot them. It's all there for you. Game plan in Forex, kind of a silly game plan name today. I mean, sometimes I have like a sexier name. This time I don't. I mean, I'm looking at C trim. Now, stick with me on this one. Just hear me out. Hear me out on this absolutely psychotic name. So, what was the one? Hunt. There's this stupid company, Hunt, which it's a conglomerate. That means nothing to me. And the stock basically does nothing. And then one day it decided to pop from 972 to 20 and a half dollars on Monday and pop to over $100 today on Tuesday. This stock must have destroyed people. I know there are traders who see this and they want to short it because they know it's eventually going to come down. I mean, the stock 100% is going to come down, but if you time it wrong, you're done as a trader. I mean, the stock could go to 300 before it drops, or maybe it drops tomorrow. Who knows? But you do have these weird, awkward names that have just been exploding. So what I'm bringing you is actually something similar to that, and I'm just explaining the reasoning. I'm bringing you an actual recent IPO. This is actually a recent IPO name. I mean, this stock, Castor Maritime, came out on March 11th. It IPO'd on March 11th, CTRM. Digested down, popped up from $4.50 to $10.50. This stock is going to explode tomorrow. This stock is going to explode. I think this stock is going right through $20. As a result, I gave you a bullish trigger of $19. Yeah, the stock closed at 10.15. It's gapped up right now after hours, and I think this stock is going to get through $20. And after I see a situation like this, destroyer of worlds, this is like the Thanos of stocks. It like eats planets. It's like Mars. Which makes you wonder, if it eats a gaseous planet like Jupiter, does that make Thanos fart? But all kidding aside, when you see a name like this, like Hunt, I mean, you have to, I mean, just to show you what a 5 minute looks like of the name today. It opened up right here at 33.50. 20 minutes later, it hit 70 bucks. Digested, down back to 32, and then shot up to $103.90. Just to give you an idea of how insane this stock is. Again, this is a new IPO, CTRM. It's gapped up right now. I think you could get through $20 tomorrow in Charlie Tango, Roger Mary. Hence why I brought it up. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, we are going to go into our full stock analysis. Imagine that you can have Mark Melnick at your fingertips, answering any stock that you are watching, breaking it down with my very powerful algorithmic levels, my thoughts, what I think about your company, maybe even the news behind it, maybe things that are going out around it that can affect, the potential price or to affect your potential conviction behind taking a trade like that. That is for Newsbeat Live members only for $49 a month. Link in the description. You too can continue to hear the sweet serenade of my voice. Happy trading, make money. I hope you guys enjoyed the simple, effective, easy strategy version 4.0. Let me know how it works for you. Would love to hear your comments in the comment section. Happy trading, make money. We'll see you guys tomorrow on the Newsbeat Live trading broadcast. Have a wonderful evening.